Good morning, art buddies. I'm just fussing with my fabric here. It's not quite the way I want. I always cut crooked. Good morning, good morning. Come in, come in. Today I'm going to be playing around with some felt, some make some penny circles, and put together another sewing needle book that you can keep in your craft bag or throw it in your handbag, or just have a fun place to put a few needles, maybe by your comfy chair. I'm going to show you, good morning, Gail. I'm going to show you the one that I've made. And I didn't have a pattern. I just, did it. And right now I'm trying to get two pieces of felt to match up and look straight to me. And these don't look straight to me. Good morning, Angie. So I'm just fussing. I wonder if I put it on my cutter. I should be able to cut it, right? I'm just thinking maybe it'll wiggle. Maybe it'll wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I could have made a pattern out of paper, but I was going in a different direction this morning. Shocker, shocker, shocker. And then decided to do this. All right, so let's see. While I fuss with this, we could do 5 inches. You're so behind. I guess so, if you weren't feeling well for a while. That definitely makes you behind. Makes you get behind. Good morning, Candy. Maybe if I now flip it, and I get it over at the 5-inch mark. Come in, come in. I'm just fussing around here with I should have taken the time to make a little pattern. But I really just kind of decided to do this. I had 2 thoughts in my head, and I thought I was going to do a glue book today, work in my glue book. And then I thought, no, I feel like doing this. Okay, it's a little wonky. We might have to just deal with wonky. All right. I'm going to try to make this 5 as well. Yeah, probably most people don't, but I don't cut so straight. So I was thinking just a square would help me get this not look so wonky. Because I want to double this, because this felt is not it's not Tom terrific if I'm being honest. Okay. Come in wherever you are. Join the crazy lady. From afar. Or I've got my floss threads out. I pulled out some of my felted bits. I pulled out some of my pieces of felt. I don't have much, but I'm going to see if I can make do with what I have. That's probably not going to happen. Black on navy blue. I'm not sure I want to do that. I've got a little leaf. I've got a couple of my tongue-shaped bits, some smaller rounds, and I've got a felted bird and a flare. Now I may have to, cut something else out. We'll just see. Put these bits out. I've got my needles all around me. Okay, here we go with the menu. Today, Ange is having ribs, mashed potatoes, fried corn, green beans, and deviled eggs. Sounds like a party, Ange. Sounds like a party. I think I have another leaf that's bigger. Where did I put my... Where did I put my bin? This is one of those kits this is the kit that I purchased that I was telling you all about on Etsy. This is expensive, but I thought it made 4. It only makes 1. But look how cute this is. This is with the penny rugs. Hey, Joyce, good morning. Can you see them? Look how cute they are. And then she just attached them all together and then has this to make a coaster or like a mug mat. Hey, Shaz, good morning or good afternoon, good evening. You could just put simple words on here. You could just put, the person's name, or you could use it for, to sit a candle on. I made them I cut my own circles and I made them for, like a coffee mug or hot, tea mug, something like that. But the original, see, I still haven't put it together because I was busy last minute, trying to figure out what the heck. Oh, here's a, that's kind of cute. It's a little butterfly. I don't know if that'll work. I think I have another leaf in here, so I'm looking for. So I go in spurts. I get these grandiose ideas. There's one. And I'm all about a certain project. I got to do this. I got to do that. I want to make this. I want to make that. And I see it as a personality flaw, if I'm being honest. So I saw somebody do, here's a bigger one. Oh, there's a little one. I saw someone online doing these penny rugs, and I've always liked penny rugs. I've seen them when my husband and I will go out to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, into the little shops and whatnot. I'd see penny rugs. I've told the story before, and my husband's like, they want that much money for that, so I never bought one. And I always have it in the back of my mind to make one. Well, I still haven't made one, but I have made some pennies. So I just took this yummy wool that Kathy Cow sent me. I'm hoarding the rest. And I just wanted a place to put some of my needles. So I just cut out this square. Now this is just one thickness, but this is pretty nice. And some of the wool had a salvaged edge here, so I used that as my inside flap. And my original piece here, I think, measures 5.5 by 9. And then I just did this blanket stitch, I think it's called, around here. Hey, Connie Dunn, hello, hello. Nice to see you. And added some things in the center that I wanted. Now I'm not a stitcher by any means, and I don't know my different needles, so I wanted to keep these in their tubes. So I thought this would work. Now I should have maybe made little lanes for them to go in, but now I guess I don't want to stitch over top of my penny here. So what I'm planning to do for mine, which I haven't found it yet, take a little piece of elastic and put it down and then just stitch little spots where these can go in and stay put. I have another one somewhere. He fell out somewhere. He's MIA. But what I also included was under this penny, I put a magnet because I have here, I don't know if you can see it, beading needles, and they're real thin. It's like real thin wire. and they're always bending and I'm always losing them. So I thought if I put a little magnet under there, and then when I close this here, because I have these big old needles, it kind of helps as a closure. So today I'm going to work on something similar. Leah was in when I was showing this one time, and she asked that maybe I could show you how I put it together. The thing is with me, is like once I get started doing this, and I made this, oh, I want to put my other little light on. It might help with some of the kind of flashing in and out. When I put this together, I just, sat down and did it. I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think about making a second one. And I can't find my fancy threads, shocker. And once I start doing this, it takes me a little while to get up and running. I haven't done it in a while. It's not second nature to me now. So here I have 2 pieces of navy blue felt. This I felted myself. This was a skirt I found in Goodwill. I wanted to get sweaters in Goodwill and felt them, put them in your wash machine and felt them. I couldn't find anything that was wool. Everything was, synthetic. And so I kind of gave up on that thought, and I was walking through the store to get back to where all the, junk is, like the household stuff. And I saw skirts, and I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if there are any wool skirts. And there were. So I felted this. Now, this could be felted a little more, be a little tighter, but it is what it is. So my plan today is to stitch around this because that's all I did here is to stitch around and then go ahead and start decorating and deciding what I want to do inside. So I'm just going to this is not perfect because if you were not here right when I first started, I don't cut very straight, and I didn't make a pattern. It would just be a square, rectangle piece of paper, but I didn't do it. And it's just going to turn out the way that it turns out. And I'm okay with that. But if you're a sewing person, like our dear Ange, yes, I took the wool skirt. Now, I don't have the right kind of washing machine. Good morning, Kathy. Connie, I think they call it a blanket stitch. There may be another name for it. I'm not really sure. I didn't do any recent research. This is just, I'm going back in my head and trying to remember what I did. This could go very wrong. I got to tell you. Ideally, you want a washing machine like the old kind that really agitates. My washing machine doesn't have that center thing and it just kind of swishes. But you want to put in like warm or really hot water and soap. You have faith. Thank you, Gail. Okay, Candy said it is a blanket stitch. And then you just throw in your wool skirt or a wool sweater and some soap and you let it agitate. And then every so often you check it. And when you start to check it, it just starts shrinking and the fabric just starts tightening up. And it's fabulous. It's fabulous. So I want something bright to go around my navy blue. Now I have this is yarn. I bought this years ago. It just happens to be sitting here. And I don't know if I might want to use this because this is kind of all different, but I'm thinking I want to put this red bird on the front rather than doing, like a penny. I'm going to do it a little different. And I do have some of my threads. I didn't pull out all my threads. And let's just see. I think this could be really very eclectic, right? So, and I don't know how much thread I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna kinda eyeball it. And I guess if I do it thin. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is one of the videos I watched, see, I don't do so good making my stitches all the same length and even. So you want to take some kind of tape. Now I'm hoping this sticks. And you want to give yourself a line, like a line where you can, um, so I want to try to get, maybe I'll back this down a little bit. Now you don't have to double it. I'm doubling it because I like the way it feels and I wanted it thicker. I just want it thicker. Now you don't have to use felt, of course, right? You can use, I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's not gonna be perfect. But, you know, sometimes when things aren't perfect, it adds a bit of charm, does it not? So we're gonna hope that sticks down. Um, Ideally, you want enough thread where you can get all the way around your piece and not have to, you know, knot it and then start over. But that could be a bit of a stretch. Now I want a needle that is sharp because I want it to go through the felt. But like I said, you don't have to use felt. You may not have any felt. You may not like felt. You may not like wool. Um, you may have some duck cloth. You may have some fabric like upholstery fabric. Maybe you have some fabulous um, like carpet bag type fabric. Ooh, wouldn't that be coolio, huh? So I think this will be, let's see. That'll be a bit of a stretch. I have mostly, I think I can do it. I can always switch out I'm going to try with this needle. So I'm going to thread this, I hope. I hope, I hope. Now, really, you don't usually want your threads this long. You could watch a video on how these people do, and I don't think they knot it. Now, like I said, it's going to take me a minute to remember how I did this or how you're supposed to do it. I want to start in the middle, and I'm going to scoot my thread in between my two layers because I have two layers and I can do it. So I want to get that tail down in there. And I think I kind of want to keep that to the left. And I'm going to come in. Now this is just going to be, you know, this is going to take forever. I'm just bringing my stitch from the back. Now, before I tell you, let me just make sure I'm doing it right. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Okay, just give me a minute. I just have to get I should have looked at this before I came on. But to be fair, I was gonna do a glue book thing, so I was really kinda running out of time. This is the same way I will be stitching the pennies once I get going. Okay, so this I want here. Do we come in the front? Don't mind me. Just talk amongst yourselves. Catch up. See what's going on. till we figure it out. Oh, I did bring my phone out. I could look. Okay, I think that's what you wanna do. I think you wanna come in from the front, so let's try that. So I've got my first stitch there, and I'm gonna try to do my spacing and keep that, somewhat, um, I don't wanna say regular, but see, now I'm bringing my thread in front of that back thread. I wanna keep my stitches spaced nicely, and you don't wanna pull it too tight because you want that top stitch to go across the top. So I keep the thread over to the left, bring my needle down. Now there's tons of videos on YouTube to watch this. I'm bringing my needle down from the front side all the way through to the back. And when I do that, I'm bringing my needle where I'm not going behind this loop. I'm coming up in between. Now again, I made my thread so long because I want to be able to try to get around the whole project. So I'm keeping that thread to the left, lift, lift, coming from the front. Now I'm using my tape border, and this is not going to be perfect, but coming straight through the back. Maybe if I put, oh, let's see, I've got an old piece of, I don't know if this will help. Is it any better if I put white there? Coming through the back, but I've got this thread over here to the left. I'm not going straight through. I'm coming up so it's into this circle. It's kind of like my thread makes this big circle. And I'm just going to pull this very gently. And I kind of pull it straight because you want to keep the legs of your stitch straight. See, and then that top bar, at least I think this is how you do it. I'm gonna keep that top bar. Now, if you pull that too tight, your fabric or whatever you're using, because you can do this on paper too, your fabric will go crunch, You don't necessarily, I don't think, want that look. So again, we just like whistle while you work. Kind of just eyeball the distance from each stitch. You may want to do it where they're all different sizes. That's fine. Now, I really didn't think about how long this is going to take me to do it. Thank you, Gail. Gail said she thinks it's right. See, now this first stitch is a little wonky, but see, when we come all the way around, I'll grab that and pull it straight when I finish. So I'm just using my tape guide, and I'm not going straight through. I'm coming up into this circle area. And I'm going to leave this laying out like this. That's my problem, keeping the stitches spaced evenly. Yeah. And, you could make yourself crazy if you had some kind of tape that had, measurements on it, like ruler tape. Hey, wouldn't that be cool? Or some kind of a pattern where you could follow it. Like, so that's being, like, super anal. But, hey, that works for me sometimes. Woohoo! Alright, so up through the hole. If you have any questions for me, please put it in capital letters so I can, pick that up and see that you're speaking to me, especially doing this kind of stuff where if I try to get some speed going and get moving here a little bit, I'm not paying attention, I may miss something. So now the corners are you want to pay a little bit more attention to your corners. But again, this is something, you could sit in front of your TV or listen to a book and sit and stitch in the evenings. Or if it's a nice day, maybe outside. Because once you get going and you get into your rhythm going, you know what you're doing. Gail says she gets messed up doing. Now, see that one I didn't make. It didn't get down as far as it should have. But you know what? I'm gonna let that go. And I certainly could pull it out, but I don't feel like rethreading my needle. Now I'm doing a single ply of thread. So I've got to keep pulling my needle out so I don't get doubled up. And one of the reasons I did this is because it's multicolored, like ombre, or I don't know, graduated colors on the thread. And if I doubled it, I would have had it mixed together, which isn't a terrible thing. I just thought I would like to see the pretty colors individually. Now, this may not be for you, this hand stitching stuff. That's fine. Put it on your sewing machine. Stitch it that way. Don't have a sewing machine? No worries. Get yourself some, what's that called, Kathy? Fusible web, something like that. Glue your fabric together. Now, right where my tail is, I'm getting a little, was going to make a knot, so I have to undo that. Okay, so now I'm coming towards my corner. I brought my camera down a little. That's okay, Ange. You get caught up on your work. That's all right. I'm glad you're here. You can listen. You can listen. So I kind of want to, I do better if I make sure I keep my thread to the left. And you may not like the blanket stitch. There's probably all different ways you can, stitch something together. Use any stitch you like. All right, so I'm coming up on my corner. Okay, so what you want to do, I guess you can see it on this one, okay. So you want to have it on an angle and wrap around that corner point of your fabric. Let's see if we can do it. So you're going to stitch the same way. You put your needle in like you normally would for your stitch. Straight through the back. You're going to come through that loop. Pull your thread. But then you want to take the leg of your thread, instead of it being straight up and down, you want to take it right to that point. Put it on an angle. Now, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to leave that there. Now let's make another guide here. Find my needle, and then I'm just going to continue the way that I was think I'm going to come a little closer than I did on my other one. Straight through the back, through your loop, through the big hole. The loop-de-doop-de. Am I confusing anybody so far? And this is really, you don't want to pull it very hard here because that'll really make your corner curl in. I could have angled it better. I'm going to let it be. Let it be. Let it be. And then just continue around. Now, I was thinking I should have probably included in my original a place to put a little pair of scissors. So I've had a couple of thoughts this morning about that. Certainly, you could have a pocket like this and put your scissors in. You might want it more narrow so it doesn't wiggle around, you know. But then I was thinking, hey, Pam, good morning. Yes, you certainly could make marks on the tape if you wanted to fiddle around. I'm not a fiddler. I'm not a fiddler. But you certainly could do that for sure. That would be too much fussing for me. But then I was thinking, if you do it double like this, I wonder if I could leave. You did, Ange? I'm glad. I was thinking you could leave a space if you double your fabric that, you could stick a pair of scissors in. I don't know, just a thought. Now, of course, scissors are pointy. If you don't have a case for them, you have to consider that. They might poke through at some point. No pun intended. But yes, Pam makes a good point. It makes a good suggestion there. If you wanted to really have your stitches spaced evenly, you certainly could make some marks on your tape, or you could use, a cloth measure tape. Hey, Marty. Good morning. But I don't like fussing around. For me personally, I don't like fussing around with jazz like that. So I would look for tape with a pattern, maybe a dot pattern or something where I could say every so many dots, I'm going to put a stitch, or I could just free stitch and not worry about it. That's what I'm doing. Or you could purposely make the stitches uneven, and anybody that looks at it says, ooh, your stitches are a little cray-cray. Say, oh, I designed it that way. Hello. Hello, hello. So I decided when I was cleaning up my mess one day to put all my felt bits and my circles, my penny circles, and some of the felting that I had done, like the bird here. I have a live where we were doing that, putting them all in one little bin. So I happened to think, oh, I've got all that stuff. Maybe I could use those leftover bits to decorate this. Yeah, I was thinking that, Candy. I was thinking somebody probably has that. But, it just depends on if you wanna be that fiddly about it? You could do freestyle stitch, right? You just want it to be, um in my case, with what I'm working on today, I'm stitching 2 pieces of felt together because I wanted it to be thicker. But you may have a nice thick fabric and you don't need to do that. And maybe you don't even want the edges to be decorated. See, that's what I did here with this really nice wool the cat sent me, but I wanted a little stitch on the edge. I wanted to, you know, jazz it up a little. It's all about jazzing it up. So then when I was looking to do penny rug style stuff, I was looking at some videos. And the reason, some of you I'm sure know this, I'm sure Gail knows this, but for those replayers who may not know, and some of you here who may not know, back in the olden day, they didn't throw anything away. So if you had a jacket or a sweater that wore out, or I guess, you know, they would patch and resew, and when it got beyond use, they still didn't throw that away. They would use that fabric. And so I would say mostly the gals, I don't know, probably some men as well, would take and cut circles out of the fabric and would stitch them together and then make runners, or maybe like a trivet kind of a thing, or they might, who knows, you know, a mat for under a candle. I'm sure they used it in a variety of different ways, and then they would stitch the pennies together, and they called them pennies because when they put the two discs together, they would stitch a penny in the center. And their pennies were larger than our pennies. I forget the dimension, but see, they would just put a penny in there and then stitch around them. And then they would stitch their circles together to make whatever they were wanting to create. But they didn't waste much. All right, so I'm going to go back in here. I'm doing another corner, bringing my thread through that circle like I've been doing, pulling it fairly gently. And I want to get the leg of my stitch on the point of the corner. Let me see. And then turn. I'm going to take my tape. That's looking pretty cute already. This is painter's tape, if anybody's curious. Now, if you leave that stitch there and don't be yanking it, you know, it should stay there. And then come back through your fabric, straight through to the back. And pull that gently. Do your next stitch. Now, I've done some shopping at, I think this is a different length than the other side, but that's okay. I had done some shopping at Katie's Tribe of 5 and got a couple of yummy pieces of an old quilt. And I was thinking about maybe incorporating a piece of that on here, but we'll see. And you can be thinking about, you know, buttons to decorate. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Marty. Marty said best bet is to make it wonky deliberately. And if anybody, I'm saying, if anybody has the nerve to say to you, "Oh, your stitches are a little crooked," just say, "Yeah, designed it that way." How rude. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do my. Now my tape is starting to lose a bit of its sticky. Now I don't do a lot of slow stitching. I don't know why. I guess because there's other things that I guess I like better that I do in the evening. And you kind of have to be alert, at least for me. Um, right now I'm working on a knitting project that's driving me absolutely mad. And then I've been coloring, so I just don't always think about the slow stitching stuff. I know Gail, she likes this to do with the stitching stuff, right, Gail? And Kathy Cowell, she's usually got some kind of, although she likes to knit too, but she does this hand stitching stuff too. And then, of course, if you've not ever tuned into Susan Taylor Brown, you want to do that because she's always doing really cool stuff. Now, don't forget also, I mean, you can leave this as plain as you want, but you also can jazz it up as much as you want. So don't forget, if you got some seed beads, sequins, any of that little stuff, buttons. And then you might want to think about, all right, Anne, she is cooking with gas. You might want to also think about what you want to store in this. I mean, you may want to make more than one, but if you want to take one in your handbag, say, or a craft bag that when you go sit at a doctor's office, you take with you, and it's got a little project in it. Um, might then want to think about size and what all you want in it. You may not want in there what I have in mind. That's okay. Make it the way you want it and how you're going to use it to help you be successful in your, hand stitching or getting a project done or not being crazy sitting and waiting for an hour in a doctor's office. Maybe you're going on a road trip, and you're one of those folks who can do something while the car's moving. Take take this, and then you've got everything that you need. And if you make you can make more than one pocket, but if you make a couple pockets, you can have thread in one. See, I have all my threads now somewhat color coordinated. I put 5 or 6 on a ring, and then I put them all in a big jar. Because I was dumping them out, it took me forever to pick up all the little things. But see, one of these little guys would slip down in a pocket real easy, if you had a particular color scheme going or whatever you were working on. Just an idea. Yeah, that's true. They do have little lights that you can get and take with you, though. Um, I'm better at doing stuff when the car's moving than I was years ago, but not great. Some people, it just doesn't bother. Of course, these days, I usually drive. I'm a terrible passenger. I feel like I should have music playing in the background. So we've had a fair amount of rain the last couple days here on the East Coast. which is really fussing around with our baseball schedule. So I don't know if we're going to get today's game in or not. It's pretty dreary out there. Of course, I don't think my husband minds too much. Hey, Teresa, hi. Um, he doesn't have to water, so I don't think he minds so much. All right, now, so once I get this done, actually, I might just, I know sometimes some of us content creators ask, hope I'm not boring you, hope I'm not boring you. But, I know for myself, I really could watch paint dry. It really is not a, really is not a problem. Eh, but I would think a lot of us, except for my dear mods, the mods are paying attention because they help me answer questions, or if I miss something, they notice what's going on, kind of keep you on the straight and narrow. Had to untwist my thread there. Um, but I think a lot of us probably, when you're in a live, are either working alone or working on a project of your own. But that's good. That's good. See, if I keep my finger like that, when I put my needle through, it just goes in the right spot. And I keep myself on track. And there again, I said this is a really like a fingering weight yarn that I'm using, but you can use your embroidery thread for sure. Whatever you think you can pull through your fabric, I think would work. Actually, really, to tell you the truth. Okay, we got another corner. This corner is not cut as well as my other corners. See, I've got a little bit of an overlap there. And now I'm going to switch my, boy, I think it's going to be close. I might be just a little bit short on the thread. Now you could tape off your whole piece too, so you don't have to be fussing like I am. And I think my fabric's a little short there on the side. It's all right. Just remember not to pull it too tight. Hi, Dawn. Okay, Gail, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough. I don't know if if there's a way, like, see, when you're doing signatures and you're trying to figure out how much thread you need to stitch in your signatures, there's a kind of a rule of thumb to use, but I don't know if there is for this kind of thing to figure out how much thread you'd need. Does anybody in chat know that? Or if it's always just like, a crapshoot. All right, so once I get to the end of this thread, which is not going to be too much longer, gosh, I'm not sure. See, usually what I do, especially with doing, it's just me. Thanks, Marty. Um, when I do my signatures and I'm pulling thread off, and I always have so much left over, I always add an extra little measure, or if I'm casting stitches on my knitting needles, I always do the long, tail cast on, so I always add a little extra. I don't know why I didn't do that here. Now, there's a certain way you're supposed to knot off. I don't think they actually make a knot. I'd like to try to get this corner in if I could. Let's see if I can. Ah, my nose is getting itchy from the wool. What did Marty say? Glue pens. I don't know if I know what that is. Now I don't want to have to rethread my needle here before I get that corner. Dawn, did I say hi? Hi, Dawn. I know in my brain I said, oh, there's Dawn, but I don't know that I said hi. All right, let's move this back. I'm going to come around the corner, get my last stitch in. I can't believe how close I came. Now I think they just go down and kind of bury their thread. And I can trim that off, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Got a piece of fuzzy or something there. Fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy. So I'll finish that up. But let's move on. So let me show you what I've got here. So I've got two pieces of felt that I put together, pinned it just a few places, and then did the blanket stitch around. This, a little bit short. A little bit short there. So now I have to decide what I want to be the front. Kind of like that. This navy is picking up every little thing. So I'm probably going to bring this in this way. And come this way. So I want to decorate the front. Now, this is where I said, sizing, do what works for you. This here was about 10 by 5, I believe. I think my original is 9 by 5.5. But I did trim this down because I had my felt was really wonky. So I want to keep in mind that this is the area that I want to decorate for the front. So I'm just going to put a little pin here to remind me. I don't really want to go past that point. Look, I even pinned crooked. How about it? Woot, woot. Now, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking I put this little bird on the front. And I like this little flower, but I'm thinking I will trim this in half. Oh, there goes my needle. Oh, that's not good. It stuck to my scissors, and now I think it hit the ground. Oh well, I'm in bare feet. That could be a problem. I'm just gonna trim this right in half. Now these are bits that we felted one time when I did a live. So I think that looks cute, huh? Now, do I just put him on the front, or do I add a few other things like a leaf? Now, I guess what I should have done was I could have decorated this first because I doubled it. See, this is where, if you're an experienced stitcher, you would have thought about that. Of course, I could always glue it on. Now, I want some little bead or something for an eyeball. I just had a little tub of, so there's some black beads. I think I want to just stitch this on. I think I might just do the bird on this one, or maybe I'll put on a little piece of something there, a little piece of lace, or a little doily type thing. Let's see what I have right here in my little chunk buckety thing, my buckety thing here. Sometimes I have little flowers and bits in here. Yeah, I could do that. Oh, I also have my, oh yeah, maybe I should get my fabric that I have from Katie's Tribe of 5. That might be nice. Get something. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I could do that little torn up bit. Could stitch that down. All right, let's put all this jazz back. Get this all out of my, back out of my way here. Oh. Now this is the piece of quilt that I purchased from Katie's Tribe of 5. And this person did 3 different layers. It's almost, oh, 4. Almost like a, well, maybe that's hooked. Almost like a cantha quilt. But they went and they just stitched. And I bought 2 pieces from her. This piece, see, like I'm not crazy about this stuff here. But I'm super crazy about this underneath. I'm going to take this apart. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? Let's take this apart. Now, certainly I could cut this and use it in one, big chunk. Now that edge is stitched there. Okay. I'm trying to get to this stuff I think is showing me. Now, it may not look good on the front of this little needle pouch, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got underneath here. Lori, that is yard tying. They did it in the old days. Oh, okay. Oh, yarn tying. Okay. Thanks, Ange. Yeah, I figured it was an old-timey thing. My sister's friend, oh, look at that yummy stuff, made her, oh yeah, it is yarn, Ange. Made her a quilt that she calls a rag quilt, and she's got stitches like that in it, but it's not with yarn. It's with, I don't know if it's actually pieces of rag or the way it's tied, it looks like rags. There's a piece under here. Oh, that's kind of black. And maybe just a little snip. Okay, Kathy. I want the bird sitting on something. Okay, now let me get a different needle. I have this really long one. Let's try this one. I have a couple here that are already threaded. Here's some gold. This might work. Let me try that. You know what I've been starting to do? I didn't do it earlier and I should have, and I lost my needle. I put a little magnet down and hook my needles to it so I don't lose them on my surface. Now, I don't even really know how to sew on a bead, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, I just don't. So I'm putting out a couple of these little mini, I don't even know if this needle's going to go through the seed beads. But I'm going to give this bird an eye. Angie said they use the 2 layers in the middle is used so they don't have to use batting. Cool. All right, so this guy's going to get glued down, so I'm not worried about stitching, you know, showing on the back. And let's just see if I can get, nope. I'm looking for a bead that's got a big, nope, nope, that's not working. This bird's going to have a big old eye. Let's see, I could re-knot it, but let's see, I've got a few things in here. Oh, that's a bigger bead. See, I should have pulled out my beading needle. Oh, that's a good idea, Marty. Marty said she used an old blanket in between because she didn't have batting. Let's see, this might be a little too. No, it's fine. I'm just going right back down there. Stitching on the bead. Giving this little guy an eyeball. I'm going to come back up in and catch it again, I think. Gosh, do you ever dream stuff and you're like, where the heck does it come from? Last night I dreamt I was riding horses. I'm scared to death of horses. There's no way I'd be riding horses. I was riding last night. Oh no, I've got a mess here. What did I do? Okay, we must start again. I caught the heavens. I caught the knot I'm hearing some music. I guess my husband's home. Well, I hope it's him. Let's see if this needle will go through here. Nope. Let's get my beading needle. I fabric pointed Sunbonnet Sue on squares. Oh, fabric painted. I still pointed. It's time for me to get new glasses. I made it for my niece when she was born, and she still has it. Aww, that sounds beautiful. Okay, somewhere here I have a beading needle. Oh, I love yo-yos. Okay, this is just like a piece of wire. If you're unfamiliar with um, a beading needle, and they can break really easily. So I try to be really cautious with them and not yank it. I always wanted to, in fact, I have red and green for Christmas yo-yos. I have a whole ton of them, but it's probably, well, there might be enough now to do a runner. I always wanted to do a yo-yo runner. Okay, I'm going to put this on. This will work if I can find the hole of the bead. I'm trying not to do what I did last time. I put my thread right through the knot. May not. I've got the wrong glasses on for this. That's part of the problem. And I didn't bring my other glasses out here. I'm thinking, what would I need them for? Dun, dun, dun. Sewing on beads, Lord. Okay. Now I also want to stitch down this little wing. Now this is where you can get clever. I mean, you can just stitch it down or you can do some different stuff. I'm thinking about a little X stitch. Now I want to clink that back onto my magnet there. Good. Okay, so we gave that little guy an eyeball, and then I want to put his little feather on. His little wing. His little wing-a-ding-ding. And I don't think I have any yellow. Oh, I do. It's all the way at the bottom. Lovely. Always at the bottom, isn't it? Would you like to swing on a song? Carry moonbeams home in a joy, and be better off than you are. I don't know why that song always comes to me. Angie said I made the oldest great nephew a baby quilt when I was born. They were moving and I found it in a, oh my gosh. That's hurtful. Yeah, see, I stopped a long time ago doing handmade stuff for people. I only do it for people that I know will appreciate it or, want it. And you know what? I'm guilty of some of that myself because I did not like the things that my mother-in-law did. Of course, I would tell her, I've told you this before, I would tell her, she would ask me, you know, like if she wanted to make our son a quilt, crochet a quilt, the ripple pattern for his room. We were moving into a new home and we were doing his room in a nautical design, you know, colors and stuff. And I don't know why a kid never said he liked boots. I just like the colors, you know, navy, medium blue, red, white. And so she asked, you know, what color I'll make them. I said, oh, that'd be great. What color would you like? So I told her, you know, maybe navy with the medium color blue. You could put a little white or maybe some red in the ripple. Okay. She did teal. Looked horrible in his room. I didn't throw it out, but I didn't use it. Like, don't ask me if you're not going to listen. You know, like, why did you ask me? Why did you even ask me? That's how my mother-in-law rolled. But she did a nice job on it. It was just horrible. I thought, oh, wow, I'm finally going to get something, you know, that works. My sisters think I'm horrible. They always sort of busting on me saying how horrible I was. But see, she'd come and visit and she'd be looking for it. Mother-in-law. So she would get on these. I didn't like a lot of the stuff she did. If I'm honest, it's just the way it was. And now these stitches are going to be wonky. And I could glue this wing on, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stitch it on. And it's gonna look cute. And that's not a good X. So I guess I'm not gonna go X. Sophia, hi. So she would make these horrible things and give one to me and give one to my sisters, and they'd be all like, oh, and I'd be like, Mom, that doesn't go with the kitchen. I'm probably not going to use that if you want to give mine to a friend. And my sisters are like, you're horrible. I'm like, yeah, but she's going to come back and visit me. Are you going to put yours, you know, in your kitchen at your house? And they said, well, no, it's ugly. And I'm like, yeah. She's not going to come to your house. She's going to come here and say, where is it? I'm just going to be honest with her and tell her up front, I ain't using it. She was a nice lady. Her taste was just different than her decorating taste. Well, I don't think she had any decorating taste, really, quite frankly, but see, even just a little stitch like that, it'd be fine. Up here by his little noodle, I should have gotten a little, let's put a stitch up in there. I just heard my phone buzz. Oh, what? Okay, well, you don't have to tell me that, huh? What, huh? Oh. Get ready to have an avalanche there. My husband always tells me, hey, Queen Bee, how are you? Nice to see you. Always has to tell me when he's taking a nap. I don't really need to know that, do I? We've got a very small home. But anywho. Now, do I stitch around the bird? See, I felted this. I think I had a cookie cutter or die cut, probably a die cut, my die cut shape. So I think I want to put him on there. I think he needs to be stitched around the outside edge. I should have left some of these out. No, I'm not going to rake them up. It's like, I don't know. What did he say to me the other day? Something I said, no, I don't like that. I wonder how many years it's going to we have to be married before like you get it. I've been married 40 years. I mean, hello. Oh, I was just thinking, if you had these little brads, look, I've got little brads. You could stick those to a felted thing. So yeah, like if you have a cookie cutter and you have some, wool, something like that, you can, felt it and make really cool little flowers or leaves or whatever. Marty said, I always tell my family, if you don't like a gift I give you, I don't want to hear it. That's hurtful and rude. Throw it away, re-gift it, or give it to someone in need, but I don't want to hear it. Good. It's a good idea. Yeah, I was just I guess I was telling Kathy, we stopped doing family gifts, I guess a year or two ago. We'd done Pollyannas after my sisters and our children, after they got to be a certain age. Like we always did gifts for the kids when they were little, from each my kids always got a gift from their aunts and uncles, and I always gave them my nieces and nephews a gift. And then they got old, and started having their own babies and stuff. Well, now we give the babies gifts. So we don't, really give gifts to our nieces and nephews anymore. So then we decided, well, that's kind of crappy. So let's do Pollyannas. So the first couple years we did Pollyannas, everybody picked a name and it was all swell. You put on your little name, ballot, your name, and then 3 items that you would maybe like to have. And we would set a limit of how much to spend, all that stuff. This is really too thick for this needle with someone who can't see very well. And so the first couple of years it was, it was great, and then it started. Nobody was interested to go shopping. Nobody wanted to think about who they had for their Pollyanna and get them something that they wanted. And they started doing, weird stuff. And then my husband said, I never get anything that's decent or that'll fit me. Of course, he wears a size 16 shoe and he's 6'4", and so then they started gift cards. So it's like, I might as well get my own gift card or buy my own gift, because you give me a gift card for the allotted amount and I give you a gift card for the allotted amount. It was just, we don't do it anymore now. Just wasn't fun. Look, I'm still having trouble with this, getting this threaded. I just want to stitch down the edge of this little bird. It's probably not long enough either. So now we just do the littles, and that's fun. Yeah, I don't like to receive clothing either. Yeah, we started, the Amazon wish list for immediate families, and that's helpful. My son-in-law still I think, if I do a whip stitch around here, at least this is a whip stitch to me. See, I don't know what I'm doing, kids. So I'm just really slipping a little stitch around this outside edge to kinda pull that in and tamp it down a little bit. Kinda defluffing, if you. Now I'm not sure I'm gonna stitch this on. I think I'm gonna glue this on. But I love if you follow, say, Janet Nash or Susan Taylor Brown, who else does some of the stitching stuff? Um, Canadian Artisan. She's I'm sure it's still on her channel, where they would do, like, mm, not a snippet roll, but, like, Carol, the Canadian Artisan. Yeah, I like the little bird too. Thanks, Marty. Was inspired by Journey. She had sent me a little bird. She felted, so this is kinda inspired by her. Um, but Carol had, like, I think a whole year where she stitched on fabric, different things, what she did in January, what happened in February, and she made, like, a little stitch storybook kind of a thing. Now Carol's they were pretty good, but, um, some people, it's just wonky. It's just delightfully wonky, and I like that. So your stitches don't have you can just make up any old stitch. Oh, Ange, that stinks. That's not right. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Queen Bee. She doesn't like to do Amazon, but it's so convenient for me, and I don't walk so good anymore. My back is a mess, and um, it's just easier, and I don't have to go 100 places to see what's available and then go back. But it's nice we have options, isn't it, though? So somewhere in this craft room, I have different hand stitch things that I've started, and of course I didn't finish. Christmas. Oh my goodness, do you, Joyce? Oh my, two children born in December. My mom's youngest sister was born December 23rd. Yeah, this big needle's a little hard to get into. But some people just don't know how to do gifts, right? I mean, my friend Jane, whose mom and dad were lovely, they were lovely people. And they loved Jane. I have no doubt that they didn't love Jane. They do. They did. They're no longer with us, but for her birthday, now not as a kid, of course, but I'm talking, in the fairly recent years. She has her own home. For her birthday, they would give her a can of paint. I told my husband a long time ago, if I want something practical for a birthday gift, I'll let you know. But unless I say it, I don't want a vacuum cleaner for my birthday. Sorry. Now, if you wanna get me a, oh, what's that super blender? I've said I'd wanted one of them for years. Vitamix, yeah, you wanna get me a Vitamix for my birthday? Yeah, that's fine. Vacuum cleaner? No. Just don't want it. Alright, now let me see if I'm gonna be able to do this. Maybe if I pull it all the way down here. This little guy's getting poofier and poofier because, it's almost like I'm quilting him. Okay, now he looks like he's got a little, we won't say, little whoop whoop. I probably should do something with that beak. Where's that gold? Do, 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 do. See, so you can get carried away. You just add things. Let's see, what's Queen Bee say? December is an awesome month. It's when I was born into the world. I am the only one who has to wait 364 days and have 365 days is my birthday, New Year's Eve, baby. Oh. Well, this is like one of the things my sister would say to her husband. Her birthday is in May, and it would come around, and she'd get a magazine, or she still gets. To me, she still gets crappy birthday gifts. She started buying her own birthday gift. Well, I didn't know what to get you. My gosh, you have a year. You have a year, in your family, you should know when your wife's birthday is. You have a year to think about it, to ask, what do you think you might like for your birthday? Why is the day before you're out looking for a birthday gift and you come home with, Good Housekeeping book? Come on. Enough already. Enough already. Okay, now I don't want to ruin this beak. Maybe I'll just do a little stitch line so you can see where the beak starts and stops. Now you can put one of these books together a lot quicker than this, right? I'm just fussing. I'm fussing. I'm not even looking at 12:30. I'm just fussing. I'm not looking at the time or anything. Let's see. My uncle once gave me his mother-in-law, a witch's broom for Christmas. We were all there. Funniest thing ever. She hit him with it. Good for her. I mean, come on. Kathy says, Greg and I don't exchange for birthdays. We buy what we want and when we want. Yeah, we've done that in recent years. It's just funny. See, and then my younger sister, was a school teacher for years, and she worked with a gal whose husband was like, and not even just for her birthday, just some kind times because for whatever, she wake up, open her eyes, and look on her nightstand, and there'd be a little bouquet of flowers in a jewelry box or box of chocolates, or just that just because crap. Yeah, never got any of that just because crap. All right, so I've got the bed. I think I want to stitch this on. I'm getting carried away, carried away, carried away. Do I want to introduce another color? Perhaps I should go green. I should have left these all out on my desk. Yeah, I'm not, um, I want a call from my children. I don't have to have a card. I don't have, I mean, a gift is nice, but I don't have to have a gift. And I don't know. I don't mean to be ugly, but it's the same with Mother's Day. Like, and my daughter is a mother now. I get that. But you know what? And now with even a text is fine with me. But on Mother's Day, I would like you to text me or give me a call before 8 o'clock at night. I'm sorry. I don't bug her all year. Right, exactly, Marty. Do it while you're in the bathroom having a tinkle. I don't care. Just not 8 o'clock at night. I'm sorry. I mean, I can see if maybe you're a horrible mother and you don't have a relationship, but I wasn't a horrible mother. I was a good mother. I have a good relationship with my kids. Take 3 seconds and say Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and send me the freaking text. Oh my, the one year I was beside myself. Anywho, enough of that, I guess. All right, now I don't want my stitches to show through on the other side of my book. And I'm going to try to make these kind of wonky-ish. Now, I will say too that for those of you who may know, and maybe you don't know her, but you should check it out. Kellyanne, Kellyanne Rawson. I'll try to remember to put these people that I'm mentioning in my. Now, this I'm not going all the way through my fabric. I'm my base fabric. Okay, Ange, enjoy your meal. I'm just going to stitch this on real crazy, like a crazy patch. Now, had I thought ahead of time, I could have decorated all this and then, done my blanket stitch and put these all together. But I didn't. I didn't do that. I didn't think that far ahead. Now I just cut out this piece of crazy fabric. And I'm just making crazy stitches here. I don't even know if I want to, I might leave that free. Freewheeling. Now I got to think about this because I want to come. So Kel Ralston. Bye, Sophia. It was nice to see you. She's doing different stitches where she's teaching you different, but I want to go this way. How to do, the satin stitch, and I don't even know the names of all of them. All right, so I want to go in here, but I want to go this way. And I'm not coming all the way through. I'm just grabbing like that top surface. I'm making this harder than it needs to be, but it's all right. So these are just, I'm trying to do the X thing again. The X factor. Janet Nash, she does a lot of hand stitching stuff. So you might want to think about checking out some of these channels. But I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it. And then I'm just going to truck my thread through. It's not like I'm going to be wearing this, you know, and it's going to be moving and all those threads are going to come loose. Nah, I'm not worried about that. Okay, so I want to put my bird there, but I want to put my little flower here. See, I've got this little flower. X-File themes. I never watched that. I don't know that song. This is all disintegrating on the one end, but I didn't want to throw that out because it's just so lovely. But see, I'm going to glue it under the, I'm going to get out my Fabri-Tac, I think. Yeah, here it is. Fabri-Tac. Okay. Going to put a little squirt of my girt right there. Sometimes I use hot glue doing this kind of thing. And I'm going to put some on the back of my felted bird here. I have a hard time squeezing this Fabri-Tac. If you're not used to Fabri-Tac, it's like a big old snotter, right? Now you can add as much stitching as you want. It doesn't have to be all at one time either. You can add different things at different times. It can always be, you know, a work in progress. Or you can just make the rectangle, fold it, and add your needles. Doesn't have to be a big deal at all. It just depends on who you are and who you are as an artisan. You know, this may not be your shtick. Obviously, this is not my shtick because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know, but I wanted one. So now I'm going to put that bird's belly right over top of that fleur so I don't see the crazy edge. Now, at some point, I might put like a little butterfly or something up there. He's too big. Maybe I'll put a brad or I'll glue a gem. I could glue a gem. That's a wonderful idea, Lori. I'm so glad you thought of it. Okay, so then inside of my original, I just did what I think they call a tongue shape in the penny world. I put a penny on the bottom, and I did that mostly because I didn't have the die cut machine that cuts the tongues. This is a tag. I just use it. See, so there's a hole there. So I put a penny. I thought I had some smaller pennies. Is it the smallest? Just a smaller penny? But you could put anything. You could put a leaf. You could put a leaf. Hey, where's that heart? I could put the heart. Look, how cute does that look? Huh? I've got something stuck on the bottom of my foot. All right, so this is the idea. This is going to come this way. Here's my original. So over here on the original, I have a big old leaf. So I might do that again. I've got a big old leaf here. I think. Oh, maybe I didn't pull the big one out. Hold on, hold on. Calling my big leaf. Here we go. Now this is only single, and this is a very thin wool felt that I got from, I think, Joann Fabric. It's very thin. So I'll probably cut a second one out. And I'll trim this off. So I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'm going to get another cut of a leaf. I'm going to put a penny or something on here. And I'm going to bury a little magnet in here. And here I've got a little magnet. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a blanket stitch because I like it. And then attach that on there. Now I might do something different and have my leaf go this way. So that's going to be there. And then when I open it up, I don't have anything here, but see, you can still, that magnet still, look. See, my wee little needles, I don't have to stab them in there. So certainly, but I have a needle just pinned in there. You could do little safety pins or bulb pins, whatever you wanted to keep in here. Now I created a pocket because I wanted to be able to put my little tubes of needles in there. But I need to do something different because they keep slipping out. And because I already decorated the front of this, I don't think stitching, I could stitch lanes and they would fit in there. Would have been a wonderful idea. But I didn't know I was going to put those in there. So now I'm going to probably, when I find my elastic, just stitch some elastic in there so they can stay in. But look how if you do a little pocket, where's one of these? Don't I have one that's loose? You can make a pocket for anything. You might say you use little snaps, or say you have a little card of of vintage buttons, or say you just want to put some bobbins of thread for a certain project. So this is just a square that I cut out of felt that I stitched on. Now, I think I might want to do something different in this one. So I'm going to come back to my piece of old fabric here. And boy, this is really rat-a-tat. Rat-a-tat-tat. Oh, that kind of looks cool. So I don't know where I'm going to land with this. See, look at this. I might get a piece of Cantha. I have Cantha somewhere. But see, this is the quilted part where all the pieces are together. I might just cut a square of this out and stitch that on and have a pocket. And then maybe put a penny on top of that. But I need some more rounds. I thought I had some smaller. Now I could put another bit of lace there. I could put a piece of felt on here. That kind of looks cute, doesn't it? You could layer that up. I've got all kinds of little goodies in here. Oh, there's a wing. A wing and a prayer. Don't be square. Wow, that's a big penny. Look at the size of that penny. Penny, 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 penny. Oh, here's navy. I like the navy. It will be better than the black. See, and then I could put a button right in the center of there. Do I need a button? No, but it looks cute, so I might put it in there. So I think I'm going to do this, and maybe I'll see if I have a really large piece of, and stitch this on. Right? So I'm going to have a pocket there. And now this Of course, I didn't sew it because I ran out of thread. Okay, Marty, thanks for coming in. Have a great day. But you might want to think about a place to put a pair of scissors. You know, here I might put some elastic where I could slide in. I have a smaller pair here. Pair of scissors, but see these don't have a cover. So that's something to think about. If you want to have a little pair of scissors with you and include that in your little storage pouch, you might want to think about that. And then over here, I just, on my original, I put a tongue so that I could just put some needles in it. And I just stitched it down. And I had this button that I loved, so I just put that on. But I think for me in this one, I'm going to add this here. Now I will stitch these like this, like I did the pennies, and make it look cute. And then I'm going to put my pocket here, and then I'm going to take my tongues. I don't know, I might have some red in there. I'm not sure. There's one. This is what I'm looking for. I might just go ahead and put that there. I'll stitch around this. So probably I'm going to add a green. Now this is going to be a chubby one, but I'm okay with that. So I don't know. I still got work to do on this, but I will say that when I get this finished, I'm coming up on 2,000 subbies, and I'm making some things to give away, and this is going to be one of my giveaways for when I hit my 2,000. So its tail sticking off a little bit. That's okay. So I think that's it for me for today, ladies. Tanya will be coming on around 2. Okay, Queen Peace going to go back to sleep. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate that. It was so good to see everybody this morning. And let me know if you're going to make one of these. I'd like to see what you end up with, or what ideas you come up with, or how you might fashion yours to work for your stitching needs. So, and you know, I'm really not a stitcher or sewer, but I do enjoy doing little bits here and there. I think this needs a little something up here. I'm going to go through my I think I'm going to go through my bling and add some bling. I'm just trying to see if I have anything. I don't think I have anything real close. No, I could stitch on a little charm. I could put on a little, I have a little, oh, I put buttons in there. I've been trying to put all my fun, I mean, I have, believe me, I have plenty that I can choose from. It's just that I didn't think to pull it out here. I don't want to drop everything. Even a fancy schmancy bead or something, a little bead cluster, or some French knots. You know, they might look cute there. I'm not seeing my, even something like this, you know, a pearl. I could stitch a little pearl on there. These are just little flat backs. You know, just a little something up here in the corner to make it look a little more attractive. I'm thinking a little piece of bling. Oh, this is a big pearl. Something like that. I think it will look more better. More better. So that's it. That's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. See, here's some Cantha. I love this Cantha stuff. See, I'd like to get a big pocket of that. I might have to dig through my stuff. Might have to dig. All right, so that's it for me for today. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. There's certainly plenty to do on YouTube this afternoon. And thanks for coming in. Don't forget, take time to be creative and enjoy the journey. And I will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.